Good afternoon. I'm here with our Leadership Unplugged series with Miss Kathryn Cassidy, who is Altair's Global President and Chief Operating Officer. So thank you so much for being with me this afternoon,
Thank you
Kathryn.
for having me.
All right, it's not lost on me. We're just 2 weeks away from Halloween.
Oh, yes.
And Altair does the biggest get-up ever. And so my first question for you is, what is going to be your Halloween costume?
Well, that is top secret right now. Top secret.
Can't let it out.
I will tell you, I've never been anywhere where Halloween was such a big deal.
It's amazing.
And so for me, the first time I actually dressed up as an adult 2 years ago for Altair, I was Amy Winehouse.
Oh no, get
Yes,
out!
2 years
Oh,
ago,
how fun.
yes. So, but yeah, this year it's going to be something to do with Saturday Night Live. But
Ooh,
that's
okay,
about all I can reveal.
okay. That's all you're going to reveal. Well, you know what? You could do Weekend Update News because this is a perfect setup.
Absolutely,
You're
yes,
like
it
sitting
is.
there and ready
Yes,
for that.
yes.
But speaking of Weekend Update News, though, you are moving.
I am.
And you are moving from Chicago to Dallas, so you are doing what our industry does.
Yes, I'm on the move.
And I want to just know a little bit about that. You know, when I used to work at Microsoft, we talked about eating your own dog food. How's it going?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I'm in the hands of a very good relocation company.
you are?
I am, yes. But yes, you're exactly right. I haven't moved, I've been in Chicago 12 years.
Okay.
So it's a big move. And, you know, one of the things for me is Chicago to Dallas, it's a cultural change.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
For sure. So I thought London to New York would be challenging. Chicago to Dallas, equally challenging, but a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. But yes, it is stressful.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know what's interesting? You talk about even here within the United States, just that cultural shift.
Yes.
You know, from the Midwest down to sort of the South. Can you imagine, though? Then it gives you greater perspective and empathy for our transferees and your assignees that go through this.
Absolutely.
So, talk to us a little bit then about how you think that you can sort of use that from a content play to say, "Hey, I did this and I know the journey."
Right. Well, that's a great question. And, you know, empathy is a big deal in this industry. I mean, I always say to people, don't come into the relocation business if you don't have empathy, because you really do need to put yourself in the customer's shoes.
Yeah.
And having relocated now 5 times
Oh my gosh.
in my career, I really do have a lot of empathy
Yeah.
for that. And I think, you know, as I talk to our teams about, you know, really understanding the experience, it's really about putting yourself in the person's shoes. Yeah, it's a big deal.
So I want to take a different spin. You're a female executive, you know,
Yes.
and arguably somebody that's really revered in our industry, but more important to that, as a role model for other young women. And so, you know, talk to us a little bit about your journey and maybe what you would encourage other young females, it may be in university or even young gals, to think about.
Oh gosh. Well, let me see. I think my main piece of advice would be use your voice.
Use your voice.
Use your voice.
Yeah.
I think often, particularly my generation, and I'm going to age myself, you know, we weren't
millennial.
I wish. We weren't really encouraged to step up and use our voice. So I would encourage, and I do encourage the young people in my industry that I mentor to ask. Always ask for the job, ask for the promotion, ask for the feedback.
Yeah.
Use your voice, have an opinion.
Yeah.
Have an opinion. Don't sit at the back of the room.
Yeah.
Get to the table.
How did you find your voice then? You've been so successful.
I've always been bossy.
Oh, there you go. It's natural.
It was
nature and
natural.
nurture.
It was
right?
natural. So yes, I've always had an opinion, and my team would certainly verify that. So for me, it was kind of natural, but you must have experienced this. You find yourself often in a room where you might be the only female.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a little unusual in our industry because we are quite female dominated, but that has happened to me in my career. And it's those times when I think, you know, I really do need to make sure I step up, you know.
It is really interesting. I share this little fun story because it triggered a memory for me. One of my very first jobs, I was in sales. And I had to make a sales pitch. Yeah, I'm not sure. I had to. You too can buy this TV, right? Anyway, long story. I had to sell in Japan. It was and because I was the only female in the room, they refused to talk to me. And I learned that very early on in my career. And so I love
that happened to me too.
Yeah. So you know, it's
Saudi Arabia.
Really.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yes, they wouldn't negotiate with me because I was female.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
it's
So
tough.
we've come a long way.
We have.
Super excited to have you this
Yes.
afternoon on my Leadership Unplugged. And you've got to send me a picture of the costume.
You'll get it. Don't worry. In fact, I think you said you'd come back as
I
a
did
judge.
as a judge, but they've moved me over to India. Can I take a rain check for next year?
Absolutely, next
All
year.
right, all right.
Yes. See you there.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.